Here's something nobody tells you at the start of a diet. The problem was never your willpower, not your metabolism, genetics, schedule, or the pizza. The problem is you've been playing the wrong game. By the end of this video, I'll show you what that means and what to do instead. Because once this clicks, losing weight no longer feels like a punishment. Stick around. January 1st, you're fired up. New diet plan printed out, gym bag by the door, a fridge full of things that look like lawn clippings but cost $14 each. 2 weeks later, you're eating cereal out of the box at midnight, wondering where it all went sideways. Most of us have been there, and the reason it keeps happening isn't that you're weak or lazy. It's because almost everything people are told about weight loss is incomplete, overcomplicated, or flat out wrong. There are hundreds of diets out there: keto, paleo, carnivore, intermittent fasting. The cabbage soup thing, I cannot believe is still being recommended. Everyone promises results, and a lot of them do work in the short term. But short-term results and long-term change are completely different things. Most people are training for a sprint when they need to run a marathon. Research on people who lost weight through extreme restriction consistently shows the same result. The majority gain it all back. The approach treated weight loss like an event instead of a way of living. You can white-knuckle a 6-week diet. You cannot white-knuckle the rest of your life. Mindset. So here's the real starting point. It's not about what you eat. Not yet. It's about who you think you are. There's a meaningful difference between outcome-based goals and identity-based behavior. An outcome goal sounds like, I want to lose 20 pounds by summer. An identity shift sounds like, I'm someone who takes care of their body. These feel similar but drive completely different behavior over time. A person chasing a goal thinks, I need to hit the gym today because I want to lose weight. A person operating from identity thinks, I go to the gym. That's just what I do. One relies on motivation. The other doesn't. Motivation goes up and down. It's high when you're excited and disappears when you're stressed or exhausted. Identity is stickier. Identity doesn't need motivation to function. Think about a marathon runner. They don't wake up every morning wrestling with whether running is worth it. Running is part of who they are. They run on good days and bad, not because they're superhuman, but because they stopped treating it as optional. Instead of, I'm trying to lose weight, try, I'm someone who prioritizes their health. Then ask what that person eats for lunch, whether they'd walk when they could drive, and whether they'd cook or order the 1,400-calorie takeout. The question shifts from willpower to identity. Identity is far easier to sustain. Goal-based behavior is like cramming for an exam. Maybe you pass, but 2 weeks later, the information is gone because you never actually cared. You just needed to survive the test. Building an identity is genuine interest in the subject. That's what makes it stick. Common mistakes. Before the practical stuff, let's talk about the traps. Even people with the right mindset fall into these. The first is the all-or-nothing spiral. You eat something off-plan and treat the day as ruined. One bad meal becomes a bad day, which becomes a bad week, which becomes quietly pretending you never started. The slip isn't the problem. The story you tell yourself about it is. The most useful rule, never miss twice in a row. One off day is just life. 2 in a row is the start of a new pattern. Protect that line. Not perfection, consistency. The second trap is the restart tomorrow loop. I'll be strict starting Monday. That version of you who will be perfectly disciplined tomorrow doesn't exist. The only version that exists can make one reasonable choice right now. Start there. Food and calories. The mechanics of weight loss are not complicated. The diet industry makes a lot of money convincing you that they are. It comes down to 4 things: food, protein, movement, and sleep. Everything else is detail. Food first, the core principle is a caloric deficit. consuming fewer calories than your body burns. If your body burns 2,500 calories a day and you eat 2,000, you will lose weight. That's energy accounting, not a gimmick. Estimate your daily burn by multiplying your body weight in pounds by a number between 14 and 18 based on activity level. Sedentary? Use 14. Active job and regular workouts? Use 17 or 18. Middle of the road? Use 15 or 16. Then eat roughly 20% below that number. Multiply by 0.8. That's your daily calorie target. Track what you eat, at least for 2 or 3 weeks. Most people are genuinely shocked by what they find. Salad dressings, cooking oils, handfuls of nuts, drinks, invisible calories that add up to hundreds per day. A few weeks of tracking builds a mental map you carry for years without needing to count everything forever. If the deficit feels like a big jump from where you are, ease into it. Dropping 500 calories gradually with small swaps is sustainable. Slashing 1,200 because you're fired up right now will leave you binging inside a fortnight. Protein. Protein is the most underused tool in most people's fat loss approach. When you're in a caloric deficit, your body looks for fuel. If protein is low, it pulls from muscle tissue. You lose weight, but the wrong kind, and losing muscle slows your metabolism, makes you look softer in your lower body, and makes long-term maintenance harder. Eat enough protein, and your body burns fat instead. The deficit still does its job, just on the right target. To maintain muscle while losing fat, aim for 0.4 grams of protein per pound of body weight daily. To build muscle while losing fat, which is possible, especially early on, push towards 0.7 to 1 gram per pound. At 180 pounds, that's 126 to 180 grams per day. It sounds like a lot because it is. The trick is front-loading it. Protein powder in your morning coffee or water, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, eggs, canned fish. Build protein into the first half of your day, and hitting your target by dinner becomes much less of a stretch. Food tips. A few strategies that actually hold up in real life. Cut liquid calories first. One large specialty coffee drink can carry 500 calories. Juice, soda, energy drinks, hundreds of calories that don't make you full. Swap them for water, sparkling water, or black coffee. This single change can create a meaningful deficit without touching a single meal. Use food swaps instead of elimination. Lean ground turkey instead of beef. Greek yogurt instead of sour cream. A wrap instead of bread. Cauliflower rice mixed into white rice. You keep the textures you like while spending fewer calories, which means you stick to it longer. Portion meals before you sit down. Put half away before you start eating. Your brain lags behind your stomach mid-meal, so you keep going past full without noticing. If the other half is already in the fridge, the friction of retrieving it is usually enough to reveal you weren't actually hungry anymore. Remove decisions where you can. Don't rely on willpower to choose the apple over the chips at 10 p.m. Just don't buy the chips. Willpower depletes throughout the day. If the only food in your kitchen supports your goal, you can't fail, regardless of how tired you are. Movement and sleep. Exercise matters, but not the way most people think. Grinding through daily cardio is not required to lose weight. Running in particular, unless you love it, tends to backfire. It spikes hunger, you eat back most of what you burned, and you feel worn out. If you enjoy running, run. If you don't, stop forcing it. Low-intensity movement works well. Long walks, incline treadmill, stairs. 30 minutes most days supports your deficit without making you ravenous. 10,000 steps daily is a well-supported target for fat burning and overall health. A walking pad, walking during calls, parking further away, it accumulates faster than you'd think. Strength training 3 days a week. Squat, Deadlift, bench press is enough to preserve muscle and change how your body looks. Muscle burns more calories at rest than fat does. You don't need to become a serious lifter, just enough to protect what you have while the deficit does its work. Sleep is not optional. Poor sleep raises the hormone that makes you hungry and lowers the one that signals fullness. If you're consistently undersleeping, you're fighting your own biology every day. 7 to 9 hours is part of the plan. To put it plainly, eat a little less, move more, hit your protein, sleep well. That's the whole system. No magic required. Start with one change. Just one. Add another when the first feels automatic. Small, consistent moves over months beat 2 weeks of perfect effort every single time. And if you fall off, one bad day, one rough week, just make the next meal a good one. No spiral, no restarting Monday, no drama. That's the whole recovery. Now, there's one thing I didn't cover today that might be the most important piece. The people who stay lean for life without thinking much about it share one thing in common: a specific mental shift that makes healthy behavior nearly automatic. That's what the next video covers. Once you understand it, everything here starts feeling a lot easier. Don't skip it.